Hi and hello. My name is Harkheindzel Kenny Omiyale, and you're welcome to Dealing with Limitations. This is a session which has the aim and objective to help you to come to terms with certain things that may have been causing limitations that a lot of us might not be privy to. This is very important because one of the things I find out is that, or I have found out, is that when you are in a place for a while, or you have certain practices, you begin to get used to the culture, the environment, the atmosphere. And as a result of that, you will not really be able to tell what has become your default mode of operation. Okay, so what this session does is to be that nudging factor or that cleansing factor that allows you to see things a bit differently and to be a lot closer to the reality of things, not the reality you have made up of things. So for example, if you're using a perfume and you've been using that perfume for a long time, your nose really doesn't smell it anymore. But when people come around you and they're meeting you probably for the first time, they smell the perfume. Why? Because they've not really been used to that environment. Their body system structure and perception has not been fixed, to that particular way of doing life. So it's important for us to find, how we can come to terms with the reality of things, and that allows us to see things a bit differently. Everything really rises on our mindset. And our mindset is a function of our thoughts, of our imagination, of our knowledge, our emotions, and our experiences. Okay, so a mindset is like concrete, hard rock concrete. Now, before it gets to the point where it's hard and rock concrete, there are different things that are added to it. So, for example, there's water, there's cement, there's sand, sometimes there are stones, and everything comes together. And there is air, okay, that allows it to solidify. So when we're talking about the mindset, there are lots of things involved. There's certain things that you do that have become a pattern for you. Your attitude, the way you do those things, your behavior, the decisions you make, the actions, and also the results. So it's kind of like a circle, okay, that keeps going, and going. So when it comes to the mindset, your mindset talks about how you are wired to behave. Your wiring, your coding, okay, there is a way you behave. And that is the reason why people can differentiate you from others. From the sound of your voice, the way you look, the way you speak, the way you dress, everything about you has become a template for you. Your height, your weight, your size, it has been constructed because you have a one-person view of the world. You're seeing the world from your own perception, not from a camera view, but from your own perception. Even though that is good, there is also a bias in that, where you only see things based on the way you think, your exposure, your perception, and everything that you have learned over time. And this is one thing to take very seriously. If you want things to change about you, then one of the ways to begin to change things is your mindset. The things you've accepted as norms, the things you've accepted as your personality, the things you've accepted as your experiences, the things you've accepted as your mistakes, the things you've accepted as your religion, your culture, your way of life. You must begin to learn to break things down and to find out if it's really in your best interest, okay? So mindset is the first thing we're taking a look at. The next thing is your environment. Environment has a powerful yet subtle influence on how your life really turns out. Take it or leave it. It's the truth. That's how it works. If you find yourself in an environment and you allow the environment to condition you, you will not be able to tell a difference between you and the culture in the environment. Now, it's got good sides and bad sides to it. So if you're in the right environment, then it amplifies you and makes you a better version of yourself. If you're in the wrong environment, it limits your possibilities and prevents you from experiencing the valuable things of life, the valuable lessons of life that enables you to unlock the portals that are within you, to unlock the gems that are within you in order for you to become a much better version of yourself. Now, when we're talking about environment, we need to get the balance in. So we're talking about the atmosphere that has the influence over your internal thoughts and external actions. So what are the things that influence what you think? Basically, perception, the things you see, the things you hear, the things you've learned, they have a very powerful influence over the quality of your thoughts, okay? So if you don't think good things, if you don't ingest good images, good sounds, it naturally affects the quality of your thoughts. So if the kind of music you listen to, the words, if the images are not liberating, do not let you see the world, do not make you want to conquer the world, do not make you want to influence the world. If they're always limiting, if they pollute the quality of your mind, then such environment is not in your best interest. And you have the ability to change the environment, okay? It might be costly. Now, by costly, I don't mean just finances. It will cost you time in order to rewire your mind. It will cost you energy, and there are lots of other things in order to rework the environment. So you might be in a place that naturally limits the possibilities of people, but if you do not conform yourself to the values of those environments, then you stand a chance of fusing yourself with an environment that opens you up to possibilities. So ask yourself, where you're at, by where you're at, the kind of things you see, what do you see when you wake up in the morning? What's the sound you hear the first time you wake up in the morning? Do you hear nature, or do you hear factories or machineries or cars or people shouting? These things affect the quality of your thoughts, and hence it affects the quality of your actions. So many times we do things without really realizing what influences us to do these things. Most of the time, it's your environment. Now, the next thing are your experiences. Now, environment is powerful, experiences are more powerful. Now, when we talk about experiences, what we're talking about is memory, the memories you form. Everything, the way you interpret and the way you relate with everything you sense becomes your memory, okay? Emotions that you have based on the things you see, the things you hear, the things you perceive, the actions you make also, really plays a major role. Now, when we're talking about experiences, we're talking about your past actions and your past events. These are the things that form stronghold, patterns, and limitations. If you've had bad experiences in the past and you allow those experiences to condition the way you think and the way you see things, then it becomes a limiting factor to you. A lot of times people are afraid to do things, not because there are no possibilities of success, but because of the errors of the past, the failures of the past, experiences where they tried and they failed, they tried, it didn't work out. And so they've conditioned themselves to expect such memories to play out again. You need to understand, every opportunity you're given is a fresh start. You just have to see it differently. The moment you're able to see it differently, then there's a very high chance that things change for the better for you. Okay, so experiences, if you have bad experiences, The only way to make sure that bad experiences do not influence the rest of your life moving forward is to create good experiences. So you have to be intentional about the experiences you create for yourself, because they are the driving forces that would create the locomotion of your reality and your future. Now, when we talk about environment and experiences, everything gravitates towards what you do. And these are your actions. Now, actions are basically a product of, they are choices, okay? And choices are a product of decisions. And decisions are products of your mindset, your environment, and your experience. Do you see where we're going with this? Everything is connected. Everything builds on the other thing. Now, decisions happen in your head, in your mind. Choices happen when you give expression to these decisions. So you can be thinking a lot of things, good things, bad things, but eventually it is what you do, is what you accept by choice, and you take action by reason of that, that cements your reality, because you've started to work on it in time. Everything you present to time becomes your reality, and that reality begins to influence you moving forward. So the things you do are very important. You must make sure that you are in charge of the things you do. What does that mean? You do not always place yourself to be at the mercy of others. You should not overly become dependent on people. You need to seek to build your own legacy, build your own life, learn the skills that you need to learn. Anything that empowers you and gives you certain level of freedom where you don't have to depend on people for food, for money, for housing, for the basic necessities of life. These are the kind of actions you need to begin to think about. These are the kind of actions you need to begin to work on and make it a reality for you. Now, while actions are good, we usually are not influenced only by ourselves. We're influenced by the people around us. And by that is the law of association, okay? The people who influence what you see, what you feel, what you think, and eventually what you become. Everyone around you influences you in a way, whether you realize it or not. Now, the influence becomes cemented when you act based on the influences that you see. So you see someone dress a particular way and you like it. The moment you buy something like that, that means you've taken action and you've cemented the influence of that person. When someone sings a song and you dance and you respond to that, it means the person has influence over you. Someone speaks a certain way, someone has a book and you read it, there is influence all around, and it's by association. You look like the people you hang around the most, okay? Based on their own mentality, their own experiences, their own environment, their own choices and actions, they now begin to induce those things into you. So what does it mean? If the people, now, destiny is not emotional. If the people around you do not look like where you want to be in future, then make sure that the power of influence they have over you is greatly reduced. And what you have to do is to find the people that when you see them, reminds you of your future. Whether they are forward thinking, they are forward mobile, they are skillful, they are valuable, they are influential, they're doing things well, and they're doing the right things. These are the kind of associations you're supposed to follow. Sometimes you might need to pay to get into such associations. These are investments you make for the future that you want to have. These are some of the things that helps you break limitations. Sometimes the break you need in life is just to be connected with the right person. It's just to be in the right circle. Why? Because when you're in the right circle, the right opportunities begin to come to you. For example, if you have friends with people and no one has a car amongst your friends, it's difficult for you to think about owning cars. Now, if you have a circle of friends and all of them have cars except you, There is a way opportunities begin to gravitate towards you so that you become like the people you associate with. Okay. And eventually it's just a matter of time. The opportunity will come, the deal will come, or someone just gifts you a car. It's by reason of the association that you have, because the associations are the people who influence what you see, what you feel, what you think, and what you become. And these are powerful metrics that determines how your life turns out. I beg of you, you owe it to yourself to hang around the right people, the people who are making things happen, the people who are creating things, not just people who are consuming things. There must be value, because everything in life is ingredient. The higher will always pull the lower upward, as long as the higher is a point of influence to that which is lower. Okay? Your association is very key. Now, the next thing is skill. Now, you might be in the right association. The only thing that allows you to connect with that association is the level of worth and skill that you have. Take it from me. Emotional intelligence is a skill. Networking is a skill. Communication is a skill. Entrepreneurship is a skill. Leadership is a skill, So these are things that you can use to improve your odds and become better. So your skills are basically your trading capital for exchange of resources through opportunities. So when we're thinking about resources, when we're thinking about skills, when we're thinking of opportunities, skills are the things that allow you to leverage on opportunities. And resources are the things that allow you to leverage on opportunities as well. So everything is connected. It starts with a skill. When you master that skill, it becomes a resource. And when you have enough resources, you will be able to maximize opportunities as they come. Now, let's take a look at resources. When I mention resource basically talks about the capital to trade in order to have the things that really matter. What are the things that really matter in life? 3 important things: freedom, time, opportunities. Freedom is the ability to do the things you want to do without someone creating a restriction, a limitation for you. Time is the ability to live in the moment and enjoy every moment of it. Okay? Opportunity is the power to maximize things and be able to get the best of life. Opportunities are very key. These are events. Opportunities are events. Okay, are situations that don't come all the time, where which you can maximize them in order to replenish or reproduce, more of time, more of freedom through resources. Resources could be financial resources, it could be human, social capital, it could be skill. We've mentioned that skill is a resource. Anything that you can use to trade in order to get freedom, time, and opportunity is a resource. So how much resource you have is how much sense of freedom you have. That means how much choice you can make by yourself without being at the mercy of other people. How much time you have to do the things you really love, and the quality and the number of opportunities that actually come your way in order for you to reproduce and become a better version of yourself. The key thing here that changes your life and translates your life is the amount of resources that you have. If you have low resources, then you have low freedom, low time, and low opportunities. If you have high resources, valuable resources, then you have high sense of freedom, you have enough time in your hands, and enough opportunities will begin to come and gravitate towards you. Now, everything rises and falls on vision. You must have heard this. Now, when I say vision, vision is about what you see, but more importantly, how far you see. What you see is in the present. How far you see is the future. So what are you seeing about yourself today? Do you even have the right self-esteem, the right sense of perception of who you are? It's important for you to have this and for you to know this. Now, how far you see is based on your resources. Okay, you can't see far if you don't have the resources that enable you to do so. Because in order to see far, guys, you need time, you need freedom, you need opportunities. Without those three things, you can't see far. You would only be deceiving yourself. Okay, it's people who have these resources that will be able to engage a bigger vision. Why? If there is a lead on you based on your environment, you're not exposed, you're not learned, you will not be able to express yourself, and you will not be able to come to terms of realities of the things outside of your purview. But when you are exposed, when you're experienced, when you have capital and resources, and you're able to connect with people of different backgrounds and different level of exposure, different level of capacity, it opens your mind to see more possibilities. Possibilities is the name of the game. Once you are able to see far, then you are able to think quality thoughts. And with the resources that you have, you are able to create that reality for yourself. That's vision. Vision is the seed of creativity. It's what allows you to break loose. So if you are not seeing yourself prosper, I'm not talking about positive thinking here. I'm talking about seeing things based on who you are, based on the opportunities around you, based on the resources that you have. All of these things make it easy for you. So for example, a lot of people would like to go to Ivy League schools, but it takes resources, it takes freedom, it takes time to be able to do that. It takes resources. So if you do not have the resources or the capital or the exposure or the network to even know that these institutions exist, then you will not be able to latch onto the kind of possibilities that people there experience. That is why everything I've been saying really does matter and plays a fundamental role in your life, in your future, and in your destiny. So what is the quotient of limitation? Now, by quotient of limitations, these are the things that you need to take out of your life because they are the things that are keeping you limited and are not exposing you to the right environment, the right experiences, the right resources, and the right sense of mentality. The first thing is belief. Beliefs are the laws that govern your reality. What do you think of yourself? What do you believe about yourself? What have people told you that you've believed? What has your environment told you that you've believed? What has your level of education told you that you believe? The extent of your possibilities is the extent of your belief. Your belief system is always directly proportional to the extent of the possibilities that you have. If your belief quotient is low, then you will not really do much because you're already constricted in your mindset. But if your belief system is valuable and robust, then you have the capacity to think for more, to ask for more. A lot of you, even where you work, you don't believe that you should be paid more than what you earn. For whatever reason, maybe your skill level, maybe your experience, your exposure, whatever it is. If you don't believe it, you can't access it, you can't take it, you can't latch onto it. Okay, so your belief system is one of the things limiting you from being a better version. So you have to have higher beliefs, okay? And beliefs really doesn't cost much, but you just have to work it into your psyche, into your mentality, into your thought process until it begins to affect your behaviors and then your actions. Fear is one thing that has kept a lot of people down. And fears are memories that you create for yourself, that you believe, okay, that block your possibilities. And fear is usually fueled by a lack of knowledge and a lack of liberating experiences. That's why when I talked about experiences, you need to create liberating experiences for yourself. Where are the places you've never been to, probably because no one in your family has gone there? Set a goal to be there. You've not been to a 5-star hotel. Go there and just go for a drink. What you're doing is you're working in your mind. You are breaking fear and then you are increasing and expanding your belief system. Break your comfort zones. Go face your fears, face your demons, the things you have never thought of, that you only believe it's for some kind of people. You can be that kind of person, but your fear is keeping you down. And you need to break this by recreating new memories that empower you, and also have experiences, intentional experiences. Sometimes you pay for, sometimes you ask people to do it for you. Believe in yourself. And also pain. Now, the thing about pain is that pain creates a ceiling for you without your knowledge, without your permission. Because we usually do not want to experience pain again. And so we drop down our standard. We drop down our expectations just so that it doesn't cross the threshold of that pain. And a lot of you out there, you've had miserable experiences. You've had experiences that were hurtful, things you would never want to remember again. But as long as that pain is still there, you have created a ceiling for yourself. And until you visit that pain and deal with that pain, you will not know that you are creating limitations for yourself. Anyone who has pains or suffers pain and still has memories of those pains, remember, the memory of pain brings fear, because fear is memories that block possibilities. Now, when you have pain, which are experiences, things you've experienced or things you've known by knowledge, by learning, formally or informally, they become a pain in your mind or a pain in your body. And then it's an indicator of the wrong choices or consequences of wrong choices you've made in the past. But they are in the past. You can always recreate experiences. You can always recreate memories. You can always expand the quality of your belief system. And when you actually begin to do that, that is when things begin to change for you. Now, there's a fundamental law. One of the first things I learned in physics is Newton's first law of motion. And it's a very powerful law. It says that an object at rest remains at rest, or if the object is in motion, remains in motion at a constant velocity unless acted upon by an external force. What I want this session to do for you is that external force that will wake you up from a position of rest, or that will tilt you in a direction. If you're already moving and you're moving towards a wrong destination, I want this to be that nudge that will tilt you into the right direction. But you need to understand, until you actively participate in this process, you cannot experience a change. So that means that if you're at a position of rest and you don't intentionally take actions that will move you, what are the actions that can move you? Further your education. Get a skill that makes you more profitable and competitive. Move out of your comfort zone. Have friends who are more intelligent than you, who have more money, who have more influence. Have mentors. These are actions that create motion for you. Now, if you already have motion, but you're probably going into the wrong path for yourself, you need a nudge in the right direction. It could be character building. It could be savings and investment so that you can plan for your future and be able to maximize better opportunities when they come. It could be the quality of the relationships that you have. You need to improve it. It could be letting some people go who have become a drag in your destiny. Some of these things are hard and they can be difficult. But remember this: important things that limit you in life, your belief, fear, pain. You must be willing and able to deal with these things so that the quality of your life can change. Now, I also believe in the supernatural, and that's why I'll be ending this session with a prayer. And the prayer is for people who are having or experiencing certain, you might not even know you're experiencing limitations. but the people who have certain limitations in their lives, whether they know it or not. I'm going to pray for you right now. And my prayer is this, that God will give you wisdom and revelation for you to be able to know the limitations that are activated or that are in effect in your life. You begin to open up to these things, and as veils are removed from your eyes, the eye of your understanding is enlightened, and God begins to bring to you the right relationship, the right education, opportunities begin to come to you. And you have the wherewithal, the sense of character, the sense of skill to be able to maximize opportunities when they come. That your mind will be full of fresh ideas. You'll be inspired for change. You will be shaken until you're no longer comfortable with where you are. You will strive to be a better person, a better parent, a better friend, a better spouse, a better business person. That the opportunities that you need for your next level, be it in relationships, be it in skill, be it in education, experiences and exposure, begin to come to you. And I pray for people who have been limited by pains of the past. I pray for healing for you. I pray for people who are afraid of moving, who are afraid of changing direction. What you need is courage and faith. I ask that you have the courage and the faith to make that decision and to live above your fears. I pray for people who have the wrong mentality and their belief system is limiting them. I pray for a shake in your belief system that will open you up to possibilities that exist for you. For God is able to do exceeding abundantly, far above all you can ask or think about, according to the powers that are at work within you. I ask that the powers at work in you are activated and ignited today, and they will begin to show you and lead you into the right path, the path that leads to your destiny. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, if you have questions or there are certain parts of this session that you really do not understand or you need clearer understanding or clarifications to, please do not hesitate to comment below or reach out to me, and I'll try as much as possible to respond and help out in any way that I can. It is my desire that you live a better version of yourself. Sometimes your environment, you need to leave your environment and go somewhere else. Just experience something different from where you're used to. Be another city, another state, another country, another experience. All of these things are the voices in your head that will keep telling you that you can change. You can move out of that situation. You can move out of that limiting experience, because everything that you need to be a better version of yourself is in you, and nothing can stop you but you. And this is where we're going to be ending this session. I wish you all the very best, and that you improve the quality of your life to become so much better. Have a great one, and have a great day.